giving our acceptance on behalf of the United States of America. Thank you very much, sir.
US and UK political relationship, it continues to headline the news this week. First, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer met with Donald Trump.
You have done very well over the years, haven't you?
We have. I'm very proud of our country. And we've also always been there backing each other up.
Trump's slapping a 25% tariff on British cars, and Keir Starmer's government seems blindsided. So much for that special relationship we've been fed for decades, eh? What if I told you this tariff isn't just about cars? It's Trump's clear message that Britain under Starmer is just another EU puppet in his eyes, and he's treating us accordingly. The evidence is staring us in the face, but our government refuses to see it. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
You know, I've always found about the British, they don't need much help. They can take care of themselves very well. You know, I'm not sure I like that, but that's okay. Very, very special person.
So much for that special relationship we've been told about for decades. Trump's decision to slap a 25% tariff on UK car imports isn't just some minor trade disagreement. It's a brutal reality check about Britain's actual standing in Trump's worldview. All those reassurances about being first in line for a lucrative trade deal, they've evaporated faster than Starmer's pre-election promises. What's particularly revealing is how Trump has deliberately lumped Britain in with the rest of Europe.
Countries when it comes to prosperity and security, and I know that together we will strengthen that even further. But look, in a moment of real danger around the world, this relationship matters more than ever.
Our car industry now faces exactly the same punishing tariffs as German, French, and Italian manufacturers. The supposed special relationship that British politicians have clung to desperately since Churchill's day has vanished overnight, and the economic consequences could be devastating. Let's be crystal clear about what's happening here. This isn't some random policy that accidentally caught Britain in its net. Trump specifically included the UK in these tariffs, despite our supposed closest ally status. It raises an obvious question. Why would he deliberately target a key British industry if we're such special friends? The answer is painfully simple. We're not special in his eyes, at least not when it comes to what really matters to Trump: economic advantage. For all his Scottish heritage and supposed fondness for the monarchy, remember those cosy visits with the Queen? Trump's view of Britain is fundamentally transactional, not sentimental.
And since Trump has taken office, there appears to be a definite dialing up of the soft diplomacy by the royal family.
They can take care of themselves, but if they need help, I'll always be with the British, okay? I'll always be with them, but they don't need help.
Those personal connections don't translate into trade policy benefits. His approach to international relations has always been through the lens of what's in it for America, rather than any nostalgic attachment to historical alliances. The evidence couldn't be clearer. Trump sees no meaningful distinction between Britain and the EU when it comes to economic policy. To him, we're just another European trading partner to be squeezed for maximum American advantage. His actions speak volumes about how he categorises us, not as the special partner we've deluded ourselves into believing we are, but as another potential competitor that needs to be kept in check. What's particularly telling is Starmer's government's response. They seem genuinely shocked by this development, as if they truly believed their own rhetoric about the special relationship and Britain's unique standing in American eyes. Now they're scrambling to respond, caught flat-footed by Trump's willingness to harm UK interests without a second thought.
Political developments between the US and the UK, well, they have been of definite interest to royal observers.
That the United Kingdom has a true friend in the Oval Office, and it was so good to see the bust of Winston Churchill back in its rightful.
This demonstrates how Starmer fundamentally miscalculated our position. Despite his attempts to court Trump's favour, the reality is that Trump sees Starmer's government as fundamentally aligned with European values and policies, precisely the worldview Trump opposes. In Trump's eyes, Starmer represents exactly what he campaigns against: a leader whose policies on freedom of speech and welfare stand in opposition to what Trump calls the American way. These tariffs reveal an uncomfortable truth. The special relationship has always been largely a one-sided myth that benefits America, while Britain plays the loyal subordinate.
Which would never have happened if I were president. That was not going to happen. I promise you that. After 3 years of hellacious conflict, approximately.
The King's relationship with Trump has proved useful so far. So what do we know about Starmer's visit to the US?
We've consistently granted America military access, intelligence sharing, and diplomatic support, often at significant cost to ourselves. In return, we've received warm words and photo opportunities. But when it comes to hard economic interests, America has always put itself first. The practical consequences could be severe. The British car industry, already struggling with the transition to electric vehicles and post-Brexit trade complications, could lose hundreds of millions in export value. This potentially threatens thousands of jobs across manufacturing regions in the Midlands and North, areas that can least afford further economic damage after decades of industrial decline.
Conversation I'm sure we will today. And of course, our countries have been bound together for a very long time now.
Also invited Donald Trump for a historic second state visit to the UK. We understand that Melania Trump and the King remain in contact.
What's particularly galling is that Starmer's government appears to have been caught completely unprepared. Did they genuinely believe that diplomatic niceties and appeals to historical friendship would shield Britain from Trump's economic nationalism? The naivety is stunning from a government that prides itself on pragmatism. Trump's actions demonstrate he views Starmer's government as fundamentally cut from the same cloth as the EU leaders he frequently criticises. Despite Starmer's careful attempts to position himself as moderate and business-friendly, Trump perceives him as representing values antithetical to his vision for America, a perception that translates directly into punitive economic policy. The more revealing question isn't why Trump imposed these tariffs. His economic nationalism has been consistent and predictable. The real question is why our government ever believed we'd be exempt from his America First approach. Did they seriously think our supposed special relationship would protect us from the same treatment he's dished out to long-standing allies like Canada, Germany, and Japan?
Begin the process of ending this spiral of death. I had historic back-to-back calls. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can I say thank you for your hospitality, for your leadership? We have met a number of times.
So here we are watching Keir Starmer's diplomatic strategy collapse in real time. While he's been crawling up Trump's backside trying to get him a special deal, the reality couldn't be clearer. Trump fundamentally despises what Starmer represents. His administration's Ukraine coalition plans only reinforce Trump's perception that Britain remains firmly in the EU's ideological orbit. The uncomfortable truth is that no amount of royal pageantry or diplomatic pleasantries will change this fundamental dynamic. As British manufacturing faces the consequences, voters deserve leadership that operates in reality rather than fantasy. Until Downing Street acknowledges this hard truth, we'll continue watching our economic interests sacrificed on the altar of a relationship that exists only in Starmer's imagination.